This week in business, number 3. Thank you everyone who reached out last week, just giving us some feedback on this little segment. That feedback for us is really valuable to make sure it's worth showing up for each week. On last week, we talked about the departure of 2 of our coaches and working through a few negotiations, etc. with that. So we've come to some agreeable terms with both the coaches that are leaving, which is really, really good news. Not just good for us, but we think a really positive outcome for the coaches, and obviously just as important, if not more important, a really good outcome for the clients as well. So we'll be moving forwards. We're in no rush to replace these guys. We've got a team at the moment who can take on a few more, and then we'll look at maybe later this year, if not early next year, bringing on 1 or 2 more coaches to deal with the demand. Obviously an interesting time. I also mentioned last week about social media and shifts and weird stuff that's going on at the moment. So our theory on this has actually just been lockdown related, that we thought maybe people are just burnt out. I know within our team, we're using social media a lot less on a personal level than what we were previously. Getting a little bit jack of Instagram. Personally, I've just moved to Twitter for my more social media and keeping Instagram more for a work environment. But it actually seems to be spreading out to our coaches in WA. I've seen multiple coaches all along the East Coast, so even Queensland, that been open through this whole time. And I was actually just listening to an episode of Joe Rogan that was maybe a couple of weeks old now, where he mentioned he actually attributed it to potentially like some kind of shadow banning type thing on a particular episode that he did, but noticed a huge downturn in new followers and interactions. Likes were staying similar, which is what we've experienced as well. So I don't think we're quite as controversial or as influential enough to make it onto Instagram's radar and be shut down. So potentially this is actually an algorithm little tweak that no one's been let in on yet. In terms of what to do about it, we're really excited about this link option that they've given us in the stories. I think all bar one of us in the team has that link option. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, in the stories now, when you do your swipe up to add your features to the story, they've got the link. You can paste your link, so then you've got one click. Social media is a notoriously lazy place, and if you have to go link in bio and somewhere else, if you're not fortunate enough to have the 10k followers for the standard swipe up for the link, now it gives you an opportunity for one click through. Us in particular have been working really hard on our ecosystem, which for us includes our podcast, our YouTube channel, and our website, which contains all of our blogs. So there's 3 main areas that we really push out most of our content. So being able to have access to that and punch things through makes things a lot easier to systemize for us. So what we're actually doing is just honing in. I don't like the term funnel because I think it gets misconstrued as to what a funnel is. But what we're essentially trying to do is diverge people into a particular area. So now we can pick a piece of content that we want to drive people to throughout the week. And then over time, we'll be able to learn, well, that piece of content was really effective. So you'll see that from us rolling out if you do follow our Instagram page over the coming weeks on both STC Fit and STC Fit Learning. The interesting thing as well is finding, obviously being able to boost posts is something that we've found really, really useful in the past. More so than like specifically using the Facebook ads stuff. We found Boost being just as effective, if not more so, and enabling us actually to go at a lower spend than Facebook ads does and still be successful. Moving to a Reels-based model, which is what a lot of people are pursuing at the moment, you can't boost anything. So we're just trying to find the right balance between Reels, organic videos, and then posts as well, making sure even for our Reels and stuff, the covers, when you land on our page, you got to make sure that you actually see not just my fat noggin on a podcast, but actually see some client results, because that's what people are going to want when they land, particularly on STC Fit. And the quality images that they want to see from STC Fit Learning is like, you guys want to know that we have quality shit. Like, this has got halo light happening, a good mic, camera. You guys want to know that we're actually legit. Otherwise, you're not going to pay any attention to us. So important to kind of move all these puzzle pieces. Really interesting. I came across this new platform called Rumble that I'm going to start looking into. Exponentially grown. I'll just grab the stats. So since July 2020, it's gone from 1.6 million users to over pretty much 32 million by the end of the first quarter of 2021. I'm not sure where that number is right now. This is just from their wiki page. So that's definitely going to be a pathway that we're going to look into. I think a lot of people are sort of moving to that as a bit of a political statement, with YouTube obviously censoring and demonetizing content. So a lot of the creators have moved over to Rumble, but with creators goes subscribers. With subscribers means opportunity to get our message in front of people, help people, and ultimately make sales as well. So really exciting to see how that plays out. In terms of projects, as we've been talking about continuously now, the 1% PT program is underway well and truly. So our first guest episode for the podcast is this Wednesday in lead up to that. So we're going to do this in a way that just gives as much free value as we possibly can, with obviously leaving a little bit on the table for you guys to want to come and do the 1% program. But essentially the next 2 to 3 months are booked out with a guest every fortnight, which is really exciting. Obviously it makes it easier for us. We just ask questions to the top dogs, but it's going to be really cool to see that roll out. In terms of the social media reach, being able to leverage, I guess, the audience of the people that are coming on allows us really to reach more people again, get our message across to more people, get exposure to more people, hopefully overcome this weird algorithm issue that we seem to be seeing across the board. I would love, if you guys are experiencing that, to drop a comment below how you found socials over the last 4 to 6 weeks. There's been a real difference in predictability of what's happening. So as though things have crashed, it's more that it's unpredictable, whereas we used to be able to predict exactly what's going on. And hopefully, the more information, I'd love to reach out and chat to you guys, and maybe we can put together a solution and help some people actually overcome a dead spot that seems to be around at the moment. So in terms of fit performance, obviously the way we run our models is our coaches do some of the selling as well. So having 2 less coaches means we're probably going to be making less sales per week, but are heavily focused on making organic sales through the STC Fit as a brand while the trainers still do their job. So that'll allow us, obviously, that consistency. Once we fill up, then we'll have the next coach on board and so on, and just repeat that process. Slightly different approach to the half sales role that we've maybe had in the past. Learning, not heaps going on there. We had a few things sort of planned, but we've just put the brakes on them a little bit. We've got 2 really major projects underway. Jason and I are pretty much constantly writing at this point, if not making YouTube or some other content, and redeveloping a few things. We're moving to a different platform for our new courses, understanding that and getting our heads around how that works and how to best maximize it. It's more of a social media type environment than what we've used with Teachable, where it was literally just you log in, do your course. So there's much greater community vibe. So we need to figure that out. Next week, we're actually going to be away and dedicate a day to really just go through. We've done our side of it. We know what we want to create in terms of the content. Now it's about what's the client experience. And for you guys to tie this into your own business, being able to sit back sometimes and work through your entire business as a client is really, really valuable to see where the holes are. So if you haven't done that in the past, like, what's it like to get a phone call or a DM or whatever from you? What's it like to get a free resource? What happens after that? What happens when you jump on the consult? How does the sales process go? How is my onboarding? What's my first week like? What's my 12th week like? And actually really go through and think, like, what would I want in this situation, and get inside the client's head of what they would like. What are some cool features that you might be able to add that just puts you a separate step away from the competitors? For us, we think that's going to be community, sharing ideas, things like these videos, talking to the people that we're working with, and just being able to, like I said, create a community of people that, whether they're training or they're coaches, within each, I guess, portal that we're going to create, that allows for this vibe. And I made mention, and I'm not going to keep harping on it every week, but there seems to be this shift with, if you guys aren't paying attention to things like NFTs and this metaverse world that's coming, and I can't say for sure, but maybe we're moving towards a community-based social media interaction experience. So the goal is that you join the communities that you want to be a part of, instead of joining the platform where those people are and trying to kind of interact with the right people and end up just seeing the same shit. So it's going to be really interesting how that will all evolve. Personally, I think the lockdowns around the world obviously accelerated this process probably 3 to 5 years than what we kind of thought. The crypto market is going off its head at the moment. They predicted that the crash was going to happened last month, I think. 6 months ago, it was going to be October. And it just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. So there's a lot of energy going in that direction, I think, with the excitement around community-based online. And if we think the origins of social media, Facebook being the biggest one, maybe MySpace was obviously before that, but Facebook changed the game because it was community-based. It was your friends, it was groups, it was whatever. Groups obviously tended to die, but where is it now? Where is this? I think it's a utility thing. You'd be able to get in and do stuff with other people. So I'm rambling a little bit, but I think it's an exciting concept for people to start thinking about. Looking at it now, it's like, well, I can't make a community band. I don't understand anything they're fucking talking about. What you can do right now is start to create an ecosystem of resources. So when the time comes that communities, you have access to a plug and play community and you can build one with your clients outside of just like, hey guys, we did shirts with our logo on them, and that's going to create community in the gym, or a Facebook group that you only put posts in once a week, if that, then we can have resources and reasons for people actually to get involved. And that allows us then to spin off with maybe activities and group stuff that we can do within that and have, like I said, that utility within that group. So it's an interesting time. Nothing changes, I don't think. It just increases the importance of starting to create assets and resources in your business that you're going to be able to reuse over time and that add value to people and solve their problems. That's pretty much us for this week. Like I said, we're ticking away on those projects. Really excited about the podcasts that are coming up and what we can do in terms of the user experience for all of our courses moving to a new platform. So have another great week. Love to hear your feedback about how things have been going on social media for you. What's working, what isn't. Rising tide raises all ships and all that stuff, right? Let's have the conversation and see if we can move forwards. Cool, I'll see you next week. Enjoy.